Here is Immortal Moments for explanation. Friends, like videos and subscribes to our channel. Immortality Season 5 Episode 17 Explanation. So let's start our explanation. When W Luo's mad and loss of life was taken away, he knew that the trend had gone. Inside the throat, there was a roar of a beast, like a mad tiger, and Jindan violently rotated. Fang Hanshi sneered, once again mobilized the magical powers, chasing up. He wants to cut the golden Dan of Viro. Let him lose a lot of repairs, but also dispel his arrogance. Establish yourself in the feathering gate, a very high position. Stop! The coffin saw the blood-colored knives of Fang Han's incarnation and killed the Jin Dan of W Luo. He immediately knew that the means of Fang Han was to destroy the other side's Jin Dan and to damage the repair of W Luo. Even the best treasures can't destroy Jin Dan, but the Tao is okay. If Jin Dan is smashed, W Luo will have to recover for at least a few decades and hundreds of years of hard work. I am afraid that even this life will be ruined. Practice the magical powers of the immortals, such as sailing against the water and retreating without entering. W Luo Jindan was smashed, and after 100 years of hard work, he can make up for it. Then it will be delayed for 100 years, and the time for monasticism will never be enough. In this way, I am afraid that there will be no hope for longevity. Previously, if W Luo took the madness to reduce life, although it reduced the 100 years of life, but the secret of the 5 emperors, it is still very cost-effective. Now that people have lost again, and they have to be smashed by Jin Dan, they will not be worth the candle. The coffin fiercely sent out a suffocating suffocation, blocking the blood mans, and wanted to resist W Luo. However, Indigo immediately issued a blue-eyed suffocation. How, coffin, do you want to hit too? Boom! When the coffin and the Indigo were changed, the Luo Dan of W Luo had been cut by Fang Han. The roundness of the golden dragon, which contained a variety of magical powers, suddenly appeared many cracks. W Luo fell on the platform, and spit out black blood. And Fang Han Shentong received, standing on the stage, coldly watching W Luo. How, W Luo, you lost, I won. The winner is king, the loser is. If you want to continue when I am going to fight, I will accompany you to the end. It's just that your life's practice is destroyed. If you think about it, you will practice hard to practice Jin Dan, but you will die and die. Is it worth it? Fang Han's voice is very loud. This is completely the voice of the winner. All the true disciples have heard it. Millions of brothers actually lost. Ah. Brother W Luo is full of confidence. There are killers, how can I lose? The killer of W Luo's brother is a sinister sorcerer. This remedy, rumored to be a suicide remedy, is to collect the annihilation of the extraterrestrial. A little bit can trigger the spirit of the whole body. The mana has skyrocketed, and the madness is invincible. Unfortunately, the square is too savvy, and the madness is taken away, which makes W Luo's brother fall short. Yeah, if W Luo brother took this medicinal medicine and used devastating energy to stimulate potential, Fang Han is definitely not an opponent. The potential of a Jin Dan master is too great. Master W Luo lost. Hey? Not at all. Fang Han cultivated to the heavens and the human world, but there are many magical powers, and can be divided equally with Jin Dan master. This time 1, get the whereabouts of the 5 elements of Lingzhen, Panwu vigorous power, 2 white gold star stone, 1 Zhong soft crystal. I don't know how fast I am going. I am afraid I will quickly get on Jin Dan. It seems that in the door of the feathers, except for the brothers of Hoa Qianju, no one is his opponent. This time he defeated W Luo and established the prestige. That may not be, Meng Xiaobai did not come back. If you come back, I am afraid there will be a dragon fight. Ads by Pub Future. Pub Future ads. Look at it. You can watch it later. Don't you want to go close to Fang Han Dao? After all, we are all brothers of Yu Huamin, but he can refine Yuan Ying Dan. If you can provide us with a lot of Yuan Ying Dan, then our practice speed will increase by 10 times. There is hope to grow up. Otherwise, the cultivation of the great supernatural powers, one day, the old death into dust, what efforts are white? Old death is dust. It's too sad. But we have many disciples of great powers in Yuhuamen. They have all died. Even in the past 5,000 years, there are masters with supernatural powers, and they can't step into the longevity secret. Finally, old dead. What immortality does not work? Fang Han did not listen to these arguments, watching W Luo deadly. Although the other party was thrown out of the cracks by Jin Dan, the vitality was badly injured, but the worms of the 100 feet died without being stiff. If you fight back and fight, Fang Han must be careful. Hey! Fang Han, Qingshan does not change, green water is always there. This time I lost a move, not 10 years, I am sure to get back. You wait, on the stage, you and I will have a battle sooner or later. W Luo suddenly used a hoarse voice. There are too many unwillingness in the tone, this time his loss is too great. I am waiting for you, but between 10 years. You may not be able to recover. Fang Cold smiled, since you admit defeat, it means that I bet this time I won. The secret of Panwu vigorous magic, 1 Jue crystal, 2 white gold star stone is mine. This is also the challenge rule of the iron on the feathering platform. Of course I have to fight with you for 10 years. Otherwise, 10 years later, you have been beaten by the Qianju brothers. I tell you the truth, this time the brothers of Qianju go to Tai. It is the one that uses Tai. A fairy, you have to grow up and grow up. You have gotten a big bargain today, but I am afraid that I will not be happy if I hear this news. Wan Luo smiled deeply and swept a lot of true disciples who were present. He suddenly flew up and flew toward his own Wan Luo phone. Hey! The coffin looked at the indigo and flew away. Hey! The longevity secret, can you enter with the help of the fairy? That is not a master of the longevity secret, the giants of the ancients. Tell you the truth, I don't have a fairy, but I have to go far this time. When I came out to save me, I used the fairy to break the Taiyuan immortal. The party was cold and cold. Although the Emperor's mirror was a fairy weapon, it is now a superb device, and it has been downgraded to a level, but Fang Han still wants to publicize it, so that those true disciples have a respect for the martial art, and will not be set by Wan Luo. Distracted people. As for Hua Qian, relying on fairy tools to enter the longevity secret? It was a dream. Fang Han chatted with mysterious people in Taiyuan Shenfu for more than 10 years, knowing how terrible the longevity secret is. There are a lot of masters who are fascinated by the mysterious secrets. They have changed their lives against the sky, but they have not succeeded and lived alive. Sure enough, let's say that. The disciples of Yu Huamen suddenly became surprised. It turned out that my feathering door actually had a fairy. It seems that my feathering door became the first in Xiandao. It is not a difficult thing to compete with Tai. Pub Future adds. Yeah, let's work hard to cultivate. The disciples who are 2-1 will not be arrogant to us at the group meeting. That is, Hua Qianju's brother, forbidding us to have a conflict with Tai. Now that Fang Han is fighting against him, his orders are only afraid of being difficult to display. We can breathe a sigh of relief. I have a fairy weapon in the feather door, and the bottom gas is also enough. This group meeting will not be beaten by Tai. Fang Han did not pay attention to these, fiercely grabbed, in the plaque of the Qiangui Palace, Panwu Hercules, Tai Bai Jinxing Shi, Wanzhong soft crystal. Was caught in the hands. His powerful thoughts immediately infiltrated into the Jade Book of Panwu Hercules. For a time, the vast ideas, the law, the images, rolled in. It was conveyed into his mind and seemed to burst his mind. There is nothing wrong with this. This is the practice of Panwu's vigorous magical powers. This is not a ghost. Hey! On the heavenly platform, how dare he swear? I don't dare to swear. If he wins, he can really get the secret of the 5 emperors. Fang Han and Yi are one-on-one. Go, I went back to refine the Tai Bai Jinxing Stone, Wanzhong soft crystal, and the White Emperor Golden Emperor. The Black Emperor Shui Huangquan can also be small, and when you get the 5 elements, you will become a great player and practice all 5. Fang Han is very proud of his heart. This victory over W Luo basically established the unshakable position in the martial art. East Lingling, Nanwan Luo, Shilan Blue, North Yaguang, Zhongtiandu. From then on, it is necessary to have a reincarnation of the peak of the cold. However, before Fang Han was gone, he did not forget to talk and win over the hearts of the people. He also clenched his fists to the disciples who were present, the younger brothers. I have some means to refine the Yuan Ying Dan. If the younger brothers lack Dan medicine, you can go to the reincarnation peak to find me. My cold will never be embarrassed. In addition, most of the refining medicinal herbs that I refine will be given to the Indigo Master Sister, Qing Shueisha Sister. You will go to them to ask for it and will not fail. That is, I have to go back to the retreat now. Please take care of your teachers. Between the talks, Fang Han left the Tiantai, turned into a flying fire, and fell into his own reincarnation peak. As soon as he fell into the reincarnation peak, Fang Han immediately ran the whole body mana, pointing at the Tai Bai Jin Xingsha. This piece of extraterrestrial stone suddenly burst into an infinitely sharp white gold, which was cut on all sides. Tens of thousands of flying swords were thorns everywhere, and the floor of Danfang immediately appeared a lot of deep gullies. The stone of Tai Bai Venus is the core of the stars outside the sky. More rare than the innate blood jade. It is a rich star of metal minerals. In the hundreds of thousands of years and millions of years, the gas of the hardware has gradually been attracted to the interior by gravity, and it has become a huge, pure golden gas. This group of gold, very fierce, the shining white light above, can stab the eyes of ordinary people. Even if it is a master of the physical state of the 10-dimensional change of nature, staring at this Tai Bai Jin Xingsha for a long time, it will be the eyes of the hedgehog, bleeding. Because of this, the average person, the cultivation of gold is supernatural powers. It is impossible to refine this Tai Bai Jinxing stone. If it is forced to refine, the hardware will enter the body and the body will be fragmented. However, Fang Han's White Emperor Golden Emperor did not have this problem. The more solid the hardware, the better. Tai Bai Jinxing Shi was pointed by Fang Han. The powerful mana disintegrated this piece of stone containing a lot of gold essence, and the infinite platinum glory flowed out, but it was sucked by Fang Han, and it was all over the river. They all sucked into the mouth. These platinum radiances are extremely sharp. When they reach people, they will be smashed, and the sword will be cut off, but they will enter the square cold mouth, but they will become tamed under the smelting of strong force, gradually formed a strip of white gold snakes, connected end to end, formed a large array, gradually appeared in the large array of two figures, a man and a woman, is also two emperors, is the White Emperor and the Golden Emperor. Once the two emperors condensed successfully, the golden gas of the sky was immediately tamed, and the tides poured into his mouth, gradually being condensed and resmelted into a large array. In accordance with the practice of White Emperor Golden Emperor, Fang Han absorbed the golden gas step by step, giving spirituality to the gas of this white gold star. He wants to cultivate this White Emperor, and he wants to draw infinite Gengjin. If you follow the usual speed, you have to go to the place where the metal deposits contain much more. It takes a few years to collect. Even a few veins and look around. This is a very wasteful thing. But now, this Tai Bai Jinxing stone contains a few pieces of hardware that are not found in the veins. It is incredibly large, so that Fang Han can make the White Emperor Golden Emperor into a preliminary refinement. If this Tai Bai Jin Xingsha is sold in the Wangguihai city, I don't know what price to sell. Those sword repairs, such as Tongqian Jianpai, Sun and Moon Jianzong, Danding swordsmen, these sects, mainly based on sword repair, need this kind of treasure. A sword repair elder got this stone. You can go back to the hard sacrifice, refining a top-quality treasurer, and even the flying sword of the treasure. With a sword, you can walk around and don't know how much power you add. White Emperor Golden Emperor, hardware of the English, spiritual immortal. Fang Hanyang swearing a spell, all the hardware of the moment, turned into a large array among them. In addition to the White Emperor and the Golden Emperor sitting in the town, there are many white tigers, golden dragons, steel giants, swords and swords. All the items that have the symbol of killing are emerging in the big array. In the end, a lot of gold gas was collected, and a large array of condensation formed. In a moment, the virtual air conveyed countless Jing-Ge iron horses, the sound of rushing and whistling. It seems to be 1,000 troops, rushing together, killing the gas looming. This is the idea of the main killing of Bidi Golden Emperor. Among the 5 elements, the gold is the sharpest and the main kills. Therefore, the gold system is the most powerful, killing and fighting, and the most convenient. Yu Huamen teaches such a great magical power, and it is a killing of the enemy with murder. Golden gas belongs to the lungs. When the big array was condensed, Fang Han absorbed all the golden gas into his lungs. Suddenly, the pieces of the lungs have turned into the color of platinum, which is extremely strong. The gas that he breathes between and breathes with a touch of gold, which contains extremely strong killing gas. At the same time among the eyes, white light is shining from time to time, making people glare. Threw up. In one breath, the blue stone on the ground seems to have been cut. It is all traces of the strips. It is deep into the ground and seems to be assassinated by the most fierce flying sword. At this time, Fang Han knew the power of his White Emperor Golden Emperor. From then on, he did not need any flying swords. This is the best flying sword. When Zhong Mouth vomits, the golden gas is much more powerful than the flying sword. Unfortunately, the blood of the magic knife has become a Taoist device. Otherwise, I will absorb this knife. To what extent will the White Emperor Golden Emperor practice? Fang Han shook his head and abandoned the idea. Refining the Taibai Golden Star Stone, followed by Wanzhong Soft Crystal, this is also a magic weapon with a very powerful water system. The above contains thousands of water vapors, each of which is extremely heavy, is the essence of the treasure that condenses between heaven and earth, and the rare degree is not under the Taibai Golden Star Stone. Fang Han didn't need any power at this time. He broke the millions of soft crystals, moved his palms, sucked his breath, took the water and gas into it, quickly refined it into a large array, and then precipitated between the 2 kidneys. Come down. The lungs are gold and the kidneys are water. Therefore, Fang Han hides the golden gas in the lungs, while the water vapor is hidden in the kidneys. Jinshuiki, after a little refining, suddenly the body of the cold body changed again, and grew taller. The whole person became a 9-foot man, and his body was extremely well proportioned. His hair showed a lacquer black, but with silk white gold. At first glance, the fairy is full of enthusiasm. At this point, he ran a little bit of the body's 5 lines, and the flesh and blood were close to each other. In the midst of it, a huge amount of essence poured down and washed the body again. In the past, because of taking the body of the madness and reducing life, the dark wounds all recovered, and Shou Yuan increased again. Now, in his body, the Emperor of the Red Emperor has been small, and the Emperor of the Black Emperor has just succeeded in cultivating. The Emperor of the White Emperor has also cultivated to a certain extent. The Emperor of the Qing dynasty is also a great success. The only thing that has not yet achieved is the Yellow Emperor's Yellow Road. You have to find the magic weapon of the earth, or the 5 elements of the roots. I want to cultivate the heavens and human beings into the same environment. I must have 5 elements. It seems that it is imperative to find the roots of the 5 elements. Fang Han launched a map of the 5 elements. Suddenly, the map shows a lot of mountains, countries, territories, such as the Great Dynasty, the Great Asahi Dynasty, and so on. However, these are not the places where the 5 elements are hidden. There is an arrow on them that directly guides people's eyes. One country after another searched the past, and finally in the world's largest empire, at the end of the Great Xian Empire, there was an endless jungle of wasteland. In the depths of the wasteland jungle, one after another ancient temples were marked. Ah? This is a wild temple. I can't think of the 5 elements of the roots actually hidden inside. He was surprised. The wild temple? Isn't that a long-lost ancient civilization? In the wild jungle, I don't know how many temples there are strange beasts in every temple. There are even some strengths. Strong indigenous. Even the wild sects are among them. It is very dangerous. Fang Han read the world and knows some about it. The world in which I live is called the Xianhuang Big World. I don't know how many billions of miles, but the center of heaven and earth. It is also called the main world by the extraterrestrial demon. There are many mysteries in it. The rumor is the closest place to the fairyland. The tree of the world is growing in this mysterious world. In addition to this, there are many voids outside the Xianhuang big world. There are endless stars in the void, and hundreds of millions of species have grown on it, as well as endless storms of time and space. Pub Future adds. In the storm of time and space, there are also many folding spaces and the world, so I don't know what is weird inside. In short, even the most powerful long-lived secret master cannot explore the billions of the universe. I can't even explore everything in the world of Xianhuang. The Wild Temple is a lot of abandoned temples in the wild jungle outside the Great Xian Empire. It is rumored that a long time ago, in this jungle, someone built an incomparably huge empire, even more than the current Ming Empire. Still bigger. Many magnificent temples have been established. But I don't know why this huge empire, almost overnight, suffered a huge disaster. Tens of billions, hundreds of billions of people all died. After many years, those cities, the temples, were drowned in the historical sands. In the wild jungle, hundreds of thousands of miles of land, hundreds of thousands of magnificent temples, you can see the glory of that mysterious empire. There used to be a lot of disciples to explore the temples in the wild jungle, trying to discover what treasures, but no matter how high-powered disciples of Shentong, the temples that entered them were looking for treasures, and some were trapped in them. It will also suffer from inexplicable misfortunes and die for no reason. Therefore, most sects regard the Wild Temple as a forbidden place. Now the 5 elements of Ling Zhen are actually in the Wild Temple, one of the temples. This makes Fang Han somewhat embarrassed. Hey, don't know. What secrets are there in the Wild Temple? I don't know. The Wild Empire is a powerful empire that flourished after the destruction of the ancient world of the 3 emperors in the ancient 3 Emperor Wars. Later, it disappeared. No one knows what happened. He said, in any case, enter the wild gods. Some practitioners of the temple will suffer misfortunes in the inexplicable. There will be no bad luck, and they will become the hegemons in the future. If you go to this time, you should be careful. Huang Quan, the great emperor, did not explore the Wild Temple because he calculated it. I feel that there is an inexplicable danger. So mysterious? Fang Han took a cold breath. After thinking about it, Fang Han decided to come down. If you don't find the 5 elements, my 5 emperors will be big, but I am afraid that 10 years is not enough. Go, let's say. Then Meng Xiaobai went to the temple. I got the 5 elements of Ling Zhen, but it is not good. Besides, I have to go to the temple and go through the Dashuan Empire. I can go to some markets in the Great Xian Empire and buy some treasures. It turned out that the Great Xian Empire is the world's largest empire, with a population of tens of billions of dollars, and the country is big, and it doesn't know how many miles. It is extremely prosperous, and the most famous ones are the markets and commercial banks that buy and sell Qianti Dibao. Many of the supernatural secrets and even the giants of longevity and secrets go there to change things. Wangui High City was actually built to mimic the Qianbao Dibao market of the Great Xian Empire. The Great Xian Empire, behind the world, the first ferry road is 2-1, no one dares to come in it. The order of the transaction is orderly, but it is good. Fang Han is now able to refine 336 granules of baby Dan, which is a tight item no matter where it is, and can be exchanged for a lot of good things. It is imperative to go to the Dashuan Empire Daobao. I decided to go down to the Wild Temple to find the roots of the 5 elements. Fang Han was not in a hurry. Every day, I quietly practiced in my reincarnation peak and retempered the 5 emperors, especially the Yellow Emperor. At this time, it is already the weakest. It is slow to draw the Earth's essence and adjust the balance of the 5 elements. In addition to his daily practice, he is pointing to the red-eyed county owner and the repair of the crane fairy. Although this man did not cultivate to the mysterious mystery, but under the guidance of Fang Han. They have also made a lot of progress. Even if they are dragons, the witch has got a lot of advice from Fang Han, even those few true JD disciples, EPRO0, Luo Shui, Biao also got the guidance of Fang Han. Even indigo benefit a lot. Although the realm of indigo is more than a cold, it has been built into Jindan, but the understanding of cultivation is actually not as good as Fang Han. Fang Han talked about cultivation, and the Taoism came, and it was often a hit. In one sentence, I solved the mystery that she had been thinking for many years. Fang Han's understanding of Taoist cultivation is so profound. Small part is because of this dragon, and the other half is in the Taiyuan Xianfu and mysterious people, to discuss 5 years of results. The mysterious person in the Taiyuan Xianfu does not know the strength to what extent. The understanding of the essence of Taoism has already seen the origin of the world. Fang Han got his teachings, and now he is no less than a giant for cultivation. You don't need any guidance from the teacher, you can also point to others. In addition, Fang Han also pointed out some disciples who came to the reincarnation peak to ask for medicinal herbs, and even a few true disciples. In this way, after more than a month, Fang Han fixed the 5 elements of the cycle, slightly small. At the same time, he has trained a huge amount of Yuan Ying Dan. Of course, the reason why he is not going to the Wild Temple is that he has to learn the Panwu powerful magic. On the same day, W Luo and Bai Luo won a bet, and Fang Han immediately recorded all the contents of the book. When I came back to meticulously, I realized that the lore of Panwu vigorously magical powers is really vast. Among them, there are thousands of martial arts that exercise the body. They also record the mysteries of many body points and the positions of the stars in the sky. In addition to this, there is also the practice of prayer, worshipping, using your own ideas to sense the space between the heavens and the earth, the hidden time and space, ingesting the vitality to wash themselves and stimulate their potential. The human body is a mystery. How to cultivate can prolong life. There are many martial arts among the secular and immortal. Fang Han also knows a lot, but he saw the foundation of the Panwu Hercules. There are thousands of physical exercise methods, thousands of spiritual cultivation, the method of prayer. It is really more than any magical power. The foundation of practicing the flesh is at least a few years or even 10 years. As for the back, how to run mana, how to expand the mind, how to adjust the mana, how to strengthen themselves and the world of heaven and earth, all kinds of connections between the heavens and the world, how to condense the Holy Spirit, more smoky. The various methods of exercise are also endless, opening up another wonderful world of practice for Fang Han and stepping into a new world. It turns out that practice can be like this. For example, this has the belief of the people, expands the mind, condenses the Holy Child, and opens up another mind. With the help of the battlefield killing, the fierce life and death of the spirit, stimulate a certain point in the mind, stored in it. All kinds of practiced methods, some have never been seen before, unheard of. Together, it constitutes this supernatural power. Although Fang Han did not practice, but it seems that it is Mao Zedong. It's no wonder that Hua Qian has inherited the Tao of Buddhism, so powerful. If he stepped into the longevity secret, he would be even more amazing. Fang Han recorded the various practices of Panwu's vigorous magical powers in his mind. I left the book in the reincarnation peak and let Indigo and others go to enlighten. However, Fang Qingxue returned to his own purple peak in a month and continued to practice retreat. It seems to break through the realm of Jin Dan. These Fang Han did not care for him. In the autumn wind, the mountains were all red leaves, and he left the reincarnation peak. Straight to the great Xian Empire, the most powerful empire in the world, flew past. It is already late autumn and it is about to enter the winter. Fang Han is ready to go out for 2 months, after getting the 5 elements of Lingzhen, and then come back to catch the Mountain River List competition. Look at this year's martial art, there will be a few talented characters. Have you stepped into the mysterious secrets? He has sprinkled a lot of medicinal herbs these days, and he is a human-level singer, Yuan Yingdan. Those genius disciples, the top 10 on the Shanhe list, have enough medicinal herbs, and it is not unusual to step into the mysterious secrets. Hey! Ads by Pub Future? Pub Future ads. A faint line of lines broke out. Then it was hidden in the clouds and disappeared into the sky. Fang Han went out this time, and did not bring the 5 prisoners Wang Ding, because this magic weapon is too big, it is not convenient to take it anywhere. It is better to stay on his own reincarnation peak, suppress the veins, and give the witch and other people alchemy. The witch has now cultivated into the true atmosphere, and is now stepping into the embarrassing situation. Although it is not a true disciple of Yu Huamen, it is more than enough to guard the mountain peaks. Fang Han is flying in the sky, and the white clouds are shuttle to shuttle. There is no very violent flight. When he went out this time, he still saved the hearts of the world, appreciated the beauty of the world, and experienced all kinds of things in the world. The last time I went out with Long Yao to go to the virtual, because my mana is really low, flying is very laborious, and of course there is no time to appreciate the scenery along the way. This time it is different, and his mana is deep. After using the magic knife to blood, it is 1,000 miles away, and it will arrive soon. Come and go like a ghost, like lightning. Naturally there will be a lot of time to do other things. In a short while, Fang Han flew to the Longyuan River, and all the way down, he even saw the Longyuan province, Fangjia. Longyuan city is still bustling, crowded and busy. The governor's office is getting bigger and bigger, and it is obviously the power of the Fang family. It has expanded in the Great Dynasty. However, Fang Han is not prepared to go down, and Fang has no place worthy of his nostalgia. He was about to fly away, and suddenly he thought about it. He landed on the beach by the Longyuan River. In the extremely high reeds of the beach, he found a place where he pushed his hand and showed a big cave. However, there is nothing in this big cave. How could this be? The body of Bai Hai Zen master? Fang Han was shocked. He was originally buried in Bai Hai Chan. How could the body disappear? Bai Hai Chan gave Huang Quantu and Jioi Jindan to himself, which made him have the present achievements. I promised to resurrect him, and naturally I would not say anything, but now the body is gone. I don't know who got rid of the body. Is it Fang Qingxue? Fang Han suspected that he was alone. But what does Fang Qingxue get away from the body of Bai Hai Zen? It doesn't help. Now I don't have to go back and ask, wait for the 5 elements. Say it again. 300. 7910? I originally wanted to find the body of Bai Hai Zen, and I will find a way to resurrect in the future. But now even the body is gone, Fang Han is helpless, only to look carefully later. When I flew back, Fang Han sighed and did not appreciate the scenery along the way. Go straight to the edge of the dynasty. On the edge of the dynasty, there is a vast grassland. There is a nomadic empire on the grassland. The Day dynasty is very strong. It often fights with the dynasty, kills the border, fights for land, population, and plunders resources. The Day dynasty that crossed the prairie, and then crossed dozens of small countries, will reach the world's largest empire, the Great Xian Empire. Fang Han is about to fly in the past, suddenly saw the grassland in front, the road of wolf smoke rising from the sky, countless blood, grievances, as well as the fierce spirit of violent, killing the gas is all over the sky. Is it fighting? Fang Han immediately looked down. Sure enough, I saw the side below. Many troops in the secular world were in fierce confrontation. They were cavalrymen and infantrymen of the Day dynasty, and they were besieging the dynasty. The Great Separation dynasty was built on the edge of the grassland, and countless males were built to withstand the iron ride from the Prairie Empire. This battle is not a trivial matter. Fang Han looked down from the clouds and saw the side gates that were hundreds of miles long. Everywhere was a smoldering fire. The soldiers of a team were as dense as an ant. The arrows shot like a scorpion, and countless people fell, and countless soldiers went on and on. In this battle, at least hundreds of thousands of people on both sides are killing. Every moment, a lot of people are dying. Among them, there are some masters who have been trained to a very high level, and who are 7/8 in the flesh, as a leading general, rushing back and forth. The violent spirit is rising from the sky. Fang Han felt the war killing in the clouds, and the spirit of hundreds of thousands of people desperately felt that some hearts were shaken. At the last moment of death, people are burning their own souls, and the spirit they send is extremely powerful. On the battlefield, because the spirit of thousands of people is connected, the ghosts and gods must avoid. Fang Han, the Panwu vigorous powers, there is the soul of the battlefield, killing the gas, stimulating the brain, and opening up the second mind of the second mind. You just met the war, why try it? The sly voice suddenly came over. Yes, there is such a wonderful work. Fang Hanshin moved. It is necessary to absorb the fighting gas on the battlefield, countless people condensed into fighting ideas, to open up a second mind for themselves. However, before the operation, he suddenly displayed the great power of Haitsang Qigong, and changed himself into another image. A black suit seems to be like an evil, and the face is ordinary. The means of absorbing the soul of the dead and killing the battlefield is the means of magic. Fang Han does not want anyone to see his true colors. Panwu Hercules is the magical power of fellow practitioners. This video will end here. Like video and subscribe to my channel.